Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another video tonight. Today, I just want to discuss a few cards here. We're going to get started off with Sea Lancer. This is a solo print rare coming out of Generation Force. Recently, I've been kind of messing around with Mermail and Atlantean, and I've just always, of late, last couple months, I've been really fascinated with just different water cards in general. And I kind of forgot about this card. I've seen it floating around here and there on what's it called? Totally Awesome decks. Use this sometimes, Totally Awesome builds. Pretty unique card. It's got a pretty cool effect. It's kind of slow because of Tribute Monster, unless you can special summon it out some way. But I think it's a pretty cool effect, and it's a solo print as well, which is pretty cool. So we'll just take a look here, try to find some first editions. It's really cheap. There's two here for $10 plus the shipping, and then over here there's a one of, and there's about 5+ pages, so plenty to choose from. But all around, I think it's just, I don't know, it's got a really unique effect, and I just think it's a pretty all around pretty cool card. Moving on to this next card, this is going to be a banned card, Graceful Charity. Everyone knows this infamous draw powerhouse. There's a lot of cool rarities in this card. This is one of my all-time favorite Magic cards. Artwork is just phenomenal. I really, really love the artwork in this card. A lot of cool rarities to choose from. My top picks would be the Secret Rare from Legendary Collection 3, Yugioh's World. It's pretty expensive right now. The first editions are going for about 10 bones. That's really not a good buy right now, but it is very beautiful in the Secret Rare foiling. Also, the Hobby League 4 is fantastic. I mean, besides the Super Rare I'm about to show you next, this is probably my all-time favorite rarity. The Ultra Rare Parallel just looks amazing. You do have to be careful because Hobby League cards, I believe, are made by Upper Deck, and they are extremely, extremely thick. So in professional play and tournaments, you may get in a little trouble with this, but they do look fantastic. I think I have about 4 copies myself. Those are going for about 7 bones. But the top pick that I want to talk about today is the original print Super Rares from Starter Deck Pegasus. The one, the legendary, the infamous, Magic Stamped, Nostalgic Generation 1 era Yugioh Graceful Charity. Let's take a look at some prices here. Of course, again, with the majority of the cards that I talk about and showcase here in these videos, you're always going to want to go for near mint, lightly played, and first edition exclusively. It's always going to carry more value for you. There's no first editions on the first page here, so we're just going to go right on along to the second page. And no first editions on the second page. Or the third page. Okay, so fourth page is where we hit our first editions. There's one here for 2 bones plus shipping. There's another one here for 2 bones plus shipping. So it's about 2 bones plus all across the board, so it's going to evenly out with shippings for about 3 bones. I think this card is a fantastic buy. Hopefully you guys can find some 3-ofs where you can stock up and get that save on the shipping. But for 2 to 3 bones, this is a fantastic buy. Honestly, $3 may sound expensive for this card, seeing how it's banned, but this card is ancient as hell. And it's got the Magic Stamp. It's, always want to get first edition, and it's from one of the original generation starter decks. And it's just an all-around powerhouse card. It's got amazing artwork. Like, how can you just not love this cute angel with the golden, sparkly-looking Yu-Gi-Oh card? It's just, you can't go wrong in every front. So, yes, $2 to $3 for first edition original print Magic Super Rare Graceful Charities. You guys are going to want to get on that. Penguin Soldier. So this is another old school super rare from a structured deck Joey, if I'm not mistaken. You got the Retro Pack Super Rare, which is really expensive. I really don't recommend this at all. You have the Dual Terminal, which is about $50 plus shipping. But I wouldn't really recommend any of these prints. I would recommend the original print Super Rare from Starter Deck Joey. Of course, with this card, you're always going to want to only exclusively go for the first editions. The Unlimiteds are really not going to hold much of any value. Again, this is a level 2 water aqua. Stats are really not that impressive. Artwork's pretty cool. I really like the glossy eyes in this and like the armor. And just it's a nostalgic card. It's just a classic DM Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh card. And I really do believe that this is going to become a collector's card just because of its sheer age alone. But its effect is really good. It's slow because it's a flip effect, of course. With many flip effects, they've kind of been aged. They haven't aged very well with the game meta. But this is still a double compulse, and it's just a fantastic card in general. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some first editions. I actually just ordered a few of these offline. And if you notice these like Generation 1 cards from the structure starter decks, starter deck Joey, Kaiba, Yugi, Pegasus, all that, they were made a little bit better quality cardstock, I think. If you kind of like feel these cards, they feel a lot thicker, in my opinion. So I think that's kind of interesting. I think maybe Konami used a little bit better cardstock back in the early 2000s when these cards were freshly on the market. So here there is one for about $1, a first edition for $1 here. There's another one here for about $1. Let's go ahead and again, there wasn't any first editions on the first page, that's why I'm starting on the second page here. So plenty of first editions on the market here, and they're all about $1 range. Unfortunately, the majority of these are one-ofs, but this, again, it's my personal belief. This card is going to become a collector's card, as well as, you can look at Blue Eyes, you can look at Dark Magician. Of course, those have a lot more weight in anime value and collector's value, and they always will because of their popularity. But this is another card that, I talked about Relinquished from Structure Deck Pegasus. That is another card, first edition, I think is going to be a collector's value. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. But you guys can take that as you will. Next card is going to be Soul Release. So there's 5 different prints of Soul Release. The ones I want to focus on is the super rare from Secret Forces and the original Metal Raiders Magic Printed Generation 1 Soul Release. So really quickly, I'm going to take a peek at this. Now, really, the only value in this one is its original print. It has the magical original magic card stamp here. It's really good. Of course, you're only going to want to go for the first edition. They're really going to be the only ones that are going to have collectability and any kind of value, in my personal opinion. Now, it's a little tough decision because there is a super rare print of this, which looks fantastic, by the way. And I'll get into that in a moment. But here we see our first one for about $2-ish right here. It's a one-of, unfortunately, and then there's 5 here, lightly played for about $1 plus, depending on how you break down the shipping. So plenty on the market, a little bit more expensive than I thought it was. I was really surprised. I didn't think that this comic would be that expensive, but seeing how it is insanely ancient, dawning from the second core set here in the TCG, and just being an amazing card in general. Unfortunately, we did get a censorship with the address here. If you guys look up the Japanese original print, it's completely superior artwork in my opinion. But enough said about that. This is an amazing card. This is an amazing card. Its artwork is pretty cool. Besides the censorship, that's the only disappointing thing about that. But I think this is a very powerful card. There's a lot of graveyard heavy meta decks currently, and I think there always will be. The graveyard is just a giant engine for many decks in the past, many decks currently, and many decks to come, so in the future. Let's move on to the super rare. Let's see what the super rares are looking at. So it looks like the super rares are even significantly cheaper than the original print commons, which makes a little bit more sense. I mean, Secret Forces is an old set now, but compared to Metal Raiders, it's nowhere near as ancient as Metal Raiders from the original print. So we're looking at the first edition here. There's a 9 of, and they're sitting at about $0.25 plus shipping. So that's pretty nice. But that's pretty much what the standard is for the first edition. It's about about $0.50, a little less than $0.50. There's 5 pages on the market here, so plenty to choose from. But this is just an all-around a fantastic card. And I think you guys should at least have a playset because this card is just lovely. Moving on to Drag Down to the Grave. So this is the highest rarity of this card currently, dawning from Legendary Collection 3, Yugi's World. One of my all-time favorite sets. This and Legendary Collection 4 I pretty much mention it in almost every single one of my showcases. You guys really need to check out those sets. They have some awesome cards at really high rarities. Moving on here, so there's a lot of decks that want to pitch the grave and get effects from pitching cards to the grave in general. And I know this rose to predominance when the Gates of the Dark World came out, and Dark World were really big back in the era of like Dino Rabbit and all that stuff. But anyway, this is just a fantastic card. This is the highest rarity, and besides the bias in me saying I love Dark World, I'm an avid Dark World player. You can see all the Dark World cards being showcased here. This is just an awesome card in general. You could use it in Burning Abyss. You can use it in any deck where you get benefits for pitching your monsters or pitching cards to the graveyard. Plus, you get to see your opponent's hand, and it's a +1 for you, +1 for your opponent too. But still, it's draw power in general, especially if you have the advantage over your opponent. And I just think this is an all-around diverse card, and this set is not getting any newer. Legendary Collection sets are really hard to come by now, so I would definitely pick up your first editions only. Let's take a look here. So it's about $3 for this first edition one here on the first page. Moving on here, we have two here for about $1.50 plus shipping. So you're going to be spending roughly about 2 bones a piece. That's pretty much how it's going to break down for the first editions. There is 5+ on the pages, so maybe you guys can dig a little deeper and find some 3-ofs. But I think for 2 bones, this is a phenomenal pickup. This card is just all around a good card, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Malignancy Catastrophe, again, coming out from the same set, Legendary Collection 3. So there's several different common versions of this card. This is the highest rarity as is super rare. And this is just a tech choice. This is just an alternative card to use for magic and trap removal. It's basically a heavy storm, but it's slower, being a trap card, and your opponent has to attack. But all around, just a powerhouse card. When you're playing against these decks that are super back row heavy, this could be just so blowout. And it's just I just really like this card a lot, and it's dirt cheap right now. The first editions are 14 cents. There's 2 of here, 14, 15, all across the board. There is 5+ pages, so plenty on the market. Well under $1, even under $0.25. This card is just insanely cheap, and I think it is a really good option for whenever. It's just a utility card that I think is pretty nice. Moving on to Possessed Dark Soul. So we're going to take a look at the original prints here from Legacy of Darkness. Another original core TCG generation with set here. This card is ancient as hell as well. If you guys want to pause the video and read this card's effect, it's pretty awesome. I actually discovered this card a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I've mentioned this in 1 or 2 of my videos. I found this because it's a Fiend Dark, and it's a level 3. And again, I'm a really avid Dark World player, and I like messing around with all the different Dark Fiend monsters, especially the level 8s, when you can use Advanced Draw and trade in, and all that good draw power stuff. Dark World's really good about having some quick draws. But this card is just really good. I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of level 3 monsters coming in out of the game, and I don't know. I think this is just one of those lesser-known cards that is pretty powerful for what it is. This is the original print common here. First editions are 9 cents plus shipping. They're 10 cents here. There's 5 of them. 15 cents here. So 5 pages. So plenty to go around. And just an all-round pretty cool card. And it's cool how it's from Legacy of Darkness. Obviously, back then that effect wasn't good. But nowadays, I think it's a powerhouse effect, depending on what you're playing. That's really the only common version that I would be interested in. I personally have the Battle Pack Epic Dawn Starfoils. And there's not a picture here, unfortunately. But these are the prints I have. I kind of wish I had the original print Legacy of Darkness commons, honestly, I think I would actually, now thinking about it, prefer to have those, the original prints. But this is technically a rarity bump as Starfoil. But these are available as well if you guys want a little bit of a rarity bump, and they're about $0.25, a little less than $0.25 for first editions, and there's 4 pages of those, so that is also an option. Endless Decay is going to be the next card. There was a 10 promo super rare, but this is the higher rarity from the Shonen Jump magazine as an ultra rare. I really love zombies. Since the zombie horde structure deck came out, that's kind of what sparked my interest into experimenting and kind of messing around with different zombie builds. And this card is pretty cool. I really like this card. It's insanely cheap here. As you can see the price trends here. It's well under $0.25. And there's 5 pages left. And this is just a cool zombie card. You know, depending on how you build your deck and how playable is going to be affect how playable it is. But I think it has really awesome artwork, and it's got a pretty stellar effect, and I like its summoning condition. So there is that. Moving on to Gold Sarcophagus. So there's tons of awesome rarities of this card. My favorite being the 2009 Gold Series copies, which are actually the personal copies that I have. But I just noticed today when I was doing my research for this showcasing, the secret rare reprints from Hidden Summoners. I know Hidden Summoners is relatively new in comparison to the other prints, is under $1, which is incredible. Like, this card is just a fantastic card. It's such an awesome combo starter. It's very unique that it's one of the only cards that lets you dig through your whole entire deck. And it's a magic, so it's quick. You can just dump something quickly. And yeah, I honestly, this is probably something I really want to highlight in this showcasing, is this card being under $1 is fantastic. And there's a lot of these big numbers, like 42, 26, so there's plenty to go around. And this is the highest rarity that we have in this card. Again, I'm really biased because I'm in love with Secret Rare, and it just looks gorgeous. So really quick, I want to take a look at the other versions, more specifically the 2009 Gold series, because these just look so fantastic. I really do love having these. These look pretty great, if I do say so myself. A lot of people give gold a lot of crap, and I do too. I really don't like the majority of the gold printed cards, but some of the gold secrets and the series from 2009 actually look really nice. It actually look like real gold cards. The gold isn't so heavy that it looks like it's spray painted on. It's pretty light touch up, and it looks really good if you guys see these in person. So we're going to see these at about $4-ish plus shipping. So these are pretty pricey, only 3 pages, and it goes on from there. But it is an alternative, my personal preference of print for Gold Sarcophagus. There really isn't much else. For sure, I would say the Secret Rare from Hidden Summoners or the 2009 Gold are going to be what you want to get. Moving on, Gearspring Spirit. So this is going to be Dawning from Dual Terminal 7. This is a common. And if you just pause the video and read this effect, it's a pretty generic effect. There's a lot of machine decks that come and go. A lot of powerhouse machine decks, a lot of popular machine decks such as Cyber Dragon. And this is a good target for draw power cards like Allure of Darkness or Trade-In, because it's a level 8 and it's also a dark. And just the second effect right here, how you can just reduce a monster to 0 and then smash into it and cause massive damage, as well as it being a level 8, so you can go into XYZ plays. There's a lot of awesome XYZ plays, XYZ rank 8 cards, and its summoning condition is super easy. Of course, if you're playing a machine deck, you can bust this out. And I believe originally, I think this was for Gimmick Puppets. This was support for Gimmick Puppets. You're seeing all Gimmick Puppet stuff here. Surprisingly, I don't know why it's not a Gimmick Puppet card, but it really does blend well with this archetype here. and it's about a $50, and then goes to about $1, and then this is okay. Well, I am only looking at the 3-ofs here, so I'm sure there's a lot of like onesie twosies here. This card is relatively inexpensive though, so I did switch the settings to 3-ofs. So that's what you're seeing here. So you guys may be able to find some cheaper ones that are lower quantity, but these are the 3-ofs right here. And there's only one page of 3-ofs, so that's a pretty nice card there. Moving on to Darkseid the Dimensions, the Gold Edition. So really quickly, now bear with me here. I think that either version, the Secret Gold actually looks very nice. The ultra rares look nice too. This artwork of Blue Eyes, just in general, it looks fantastic. With the smoke in the background and like the position of the dragon and how like you can really see like the plated armor, and it just looks really great. I really think this artwork is fantastic. And the Secret Gold actually looks very gorgeous. Again, a lot of people don't like gold. I'm very choosy and selective about my gold cards that I invest in, but this is one gold card that I really do like. And for the longest time, this card was like $1, under $1, and now it's at $3 now, so it's tripled in value. Darkseid the Dimension really wasn't that long ago. I think maybe it was 2 years ago, maybe max. So really quickly, let's just take a look here. Again, and all across the board, like you're not gonna find this print of Blue Eyes under $3, and there's only 4 on the market. So I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. There's also, of course, the ultra rare as well. Personally, I would go for the Secret Gold. Honestly, I know a lot of people give gold a lot of poop, but it really does look fantastic. And personally, I have both the ultra and the gold secret. I invested in both, and I'm pretty happy about that because this card is slowly going up, and it looks fantastic, and it's Blue Eyes, so you know there's always gonna be crazy Blue Eyes players. Another thing was this card, not the gold one, but the ultra rare version of Slifer the Sky Dragon. You guys might want to take a look at that one. This gold in the trash. Don't ignore this. I only selected the gold series for the Blue Eyes because the Blue Eyes actually looks good, but the ultra rare versions of Slifer, they also look very nice, and I think eventually those will be collector value worthy. Moving on to Rescue Rabbit, dawning from Photon Shockwave. This was such an amazing time. This was Dino Rabbit era, Dark World era. I think we had, was it Wind-Ups as well? Well, Wind-Ups, I think, yeah, Wind-Ups came out of this Wind-Up support, and Six Samurai, and all this awesome stuff. So it's a really good time. Back in the days of battling in 2012 with the Yu-Gi-Ohs. This card is just a powerhouse. I love this card. I've been waiting forever for this card to hit 10 bones for the first edition. And it's almost there. It's sitting at 11 here. And then it moves to all the way up to 25. So only 2 pages left. My goal of trying to pick a playset of this up for 30 is probably near to none now, seeing how this card is actually going up instead of going down. It makes sense. It is a fantastic card, and its secret rarity is probably just it reminds me of like chalk. Like if you ever had chalk when you were a little kid, like took the pink one, the blue one, the red one, you like mix them all together. It's kind of strangely, oddly enough, what this secret rare reminds me of. Wasn't a good metaphor probably, but this just has fantastic artwork, cute little bunny, and the secret rarity is just very deep and very like foil predominant, and just looks fantastic. So you know, if you guys can get that relatively cheap, I would definitely recommend it because it's just an awesome powerhouse card. So really quickly, I really don't like to cover meta cards, but at the end, I kind of wanted to end this video. I felt like I've been slacking a little bit in the collector's value department. That's one of my passions. I really like to do content on collector stuff and what I think is going to kind of inherently earn its way into the collector's market. So really quickly, everyone knows that we're getting ultra rare reprints and Dual Devastator alternate artworks of the Ghost Girls. The Ghost Girls, without saying, I think, you know, every player knows that the original print secret rare first edition Ghost Girls are going to be collector value cards. They are playable. All of them are mostly playable pretty much any time in the meta for the most part. And they just have fantastic artwork, and ever since they came out in the dawn of, I think, Cross Souls with Ghost Over was the first one, they were always fan favorites, and they have always been in and out of the meta and the casuals, and I just want to put huge emphasis. You guys probably already know this, but I just wanted to put that information out there that you guys need to be collecting first edition Secret Rares Ghost Girls from the core sets. You need to get them, and you need to get them now, because the longer we get away from these, the more expensive they're going to get, and I'm going to show you here in the price trends right now. We are getting tons of reprints of these cards, but remember, keep in mind that we are not getting secret rare reprints. I mean, this got a secret rare reprint in the 2017 Megatins, if I'm not mistaken, but a lot of the other popular ones do not have secret rare reprints, and I think Konami did that on purpose because they want to sell these cards, and they're selling the reprints like crazy. You know, like Dual Power. I bought into Dual Power. I got a lot of my ultra rare reprints. Dual Devastator has the and I think that's specifically why they did that. I know that they know players are really into the Ghost Girls. The artwork is fantastic. They're all hand traps. You know, they're just all around great cards. They're collectibles. But also, I think it's another huge reason, and I think it was a really smart move that they did alternative artworks to kind of have a rerun of Dual Power and resell and play off players' interest in loving these cards. I've seen a preview online of the alternate artwork versions. I think they look fantastic. Personally, I'm considering about investing in Dual Power because I think that the alternate artworks they do look gorgeous. But this is not going to overshine the original print first edition secret rares. These are going to be collector cards sooner than you guys would think, and the prices will reflect. So we can already see here Ghost Reaper from Shining Victories first edition is about $6. My price for this is $5. I picked these up at $5. If I find any of these for $5 first edition, lightly played or better, I pick them up because there's actually only 2 pages on the market here. You can already kind of see that this card is starting to dry up. Only one first edition here, and it's 6 bones. Moving on to Maximum Crisis, everyone's favorite Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, one of the most infamous, if not, probably Maxi. I think Maxi takes the most infamous hand trap card. But amazing artwork, and again, all the same reasons that I talked about with Ghost Reaper. This is a collector's card. I promise you, you want to get your first edition secrets. And this card has always been an expensive card. No first editions on the first page. It has decreased in value a little bit because Ash Blossom has been printed to hell. It's been mass reprinted. But looking here, there's still no first editions on the second page. We get our first edition here on the third page for 82 bones. 82 bones here. 82, I'm sorry. 32, 32, and then, 34. So it's still a relatively expensive card. And rightfully so. This is an amazing card, playable-wise. It's very diverse. It is amazing artwork, and it's a collector's card, and it'll just continue to be so. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So this, and as well as Ash Blossom, the secrets are just ridiculous. If you look here, even the Unlimiteds, again, they're like 27, and then we get our first edition here for 31. And then 31 and 31, and there's only 3 pages left of this. So this is still a relatively expensive card, regardless of edition. Don't get Unlimited. I promise you again. If you are going to be getting the high rarity of a secret rare, of course there's the ultimate rare. Honestly, in my opinion, I would prefer a first edition original print secret over an ultimate rare any day. I know that a lot of people like ultimate rares. I like ultimate rares too a lot. But when it comes to the Ghost Girls, for me, 100%, I'm always first edition original print. I don't even care if they make an ultimate rare for Ash Blossom. That'd be good because all the ultimate rare lovers, like hardcore lovers, have wanted that for a long time. I think that'd be great. You know, I wouldn't mind if they did that in an OTS pack. But for me personally, I'm investing in the original print Secret Rares first editions. And again, so, you know, prices $31, $30, about the same. Moving on here, Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Okay, so for the last two, for Ghost Bell and for Ghost Sister, I want to talk, there's a little thing specifically I want to talk about. So, compared to the other ones, besides Ghost Reaper, Ghost Bell, as you can see here, the unlimiteds are about 11, and then unlimiteds for Ghost Sister is about, you know, 14, or yeah, about 14 or so. These are significantly cheaper than Ash Blossom and Ghost Silver because they're not seeing as much play, which is fine. It makes sense. But I promise you, these are still just as valuable collector cards. Again, you're going to have to get first edition original prints. Now, what I was going to say about this is, with this being reprinted in Dual Power, it plummeted its price. It used to be like $30 or something, and then Dual Power came out, plummeted its price with the Ultra Rare reprint. Now, remember, we are getting Dual Devastator that is going to have all of the cards to include Ghost Bell and Ghost Sister. So, right now I'm waiting. I'm taking a risk and I'm waiting, and the reason why I'm waiting is because I want Dual Devastator to come out. I want the market to get flooded with another reprint of Ghost Bell and Ghost Sister. And I personally believe that it'll decrease the secret rares even more so. And I'm planning to go in and get my first edition secret rare Ghost Bells and Spooky Dogwoods right as soon as or right after Dual Devastator drops. That's personally what I'm doing. That's what I'm banking on. Right now, let's really quickly, Ghost Bell original prints, they're $14. You see here, 2 for $14, or $13.50. And then this is the no first editions on the first page. Let's move on to the third page, and then it moves to like $16. So it's still significantly cheaper than the other two Ghost Sisters, but still have room to go down, which I think they will initially when Dual Devastator comes out. But you gotta do it quick, because as soon as Dual Devastator gets old and it goes away and it gets off the market, these original print secret rares are just going to go right back up to their normal prices, because I personally don't believe that these are going to get a secret rare reprint anytime soon, if not ever. Looking at Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, currently we only have one print of this card. This is a brand new card, Dawning from Dane. But again, when it gets its ultra rare reprint from Dual Devastator, this price I think will go down momentarily, and that's going to be the time you're going to want to swoop up and get your copies of this card. Right now it's sitting at $15. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.